Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to Vivid Collectibles. My name is Danny, and tonight I'm going to be bringing you my review on the Archangel Statue by XM Studios. This is a quarter scale statue. They made 499 of this, which is version A, and I forget how many of version B, which is the X-Force version, with this black and silver colors. That was a little bit shorter as well. I'm not really sure why. So Archangel is a former X-Men member, and who was basically mutated physically and emotionally into the Angel of Death by Apocalypse, ripping his natural wings off and giving him these metal wings. And then he would later on in the comics return to the X-Men and also X-Force, although he had some mental scars from everything that he's been through. So what you have here is Archangel getting ready to escape from Apocalypse, according to XM Studios. So you have hints of Apocalypse throughout the base. You see his tentacles, and he's getting ready to fly off and search for his freedom. So without much further ado, I'm going to bring you my review of this really cool piece by XM Studios. Okay, so we're going to get into the paint and sculpt aspect of this piece. So let's start with the base. So what we have is an Egyptian base full of these really cool hieroglyphics that show you Apocalypse right there. Now the base is sculpted really nicely. All of the rocks have some really good definition and great texture, and you see all of the different Egyptian writings and drawings in here. That looks really great. The sub base is the Danger Room, so you see that. That's pretty cool. I like the color choices that they went with there. Underneath that you have the sub base, which is all the wiring that would power the Danger Room. It's pretty cool. They made a couple of these bases already. One on, I believe, Cable, and also Nightcrawler. So, you know, the base is pretty straightforward. And you have one of the tentacles from Apocalypse. And then you have some of the end scorpion ends right there. Little red dot in the middle. Very cool. So he's clearly escaping these tentacles by Apocalypse. He's getting ready to jet. Again, really nice colors in there. Lots of different browns. And a lot of different textures. I like the way that they differentiate each piece of stone. There you go, some hieroglyphics right there. So overall, you know, pretty nice. It's nicely sculpted, very well painted. A little boring for my taste, but done well anyways. Let's move up to Archangel himself. So he's got his traditional blue and red. Very cool. They went with more subdued colors, a little darker. But as far as the sculpt goes, it's immaculate. He's a very athletic and lean looking Archangel. You can see all the great muscle definition right through the costume. There's some nice texturing in some of these panels, right? But a lot of the costume is smooth and looks really good. The line work and paint work are perfect. There's really no paint bleeds anywhere. So it's your typical very nice paint job by XM Studio. There we go. Look at the hands. Very nice. Great detail. Great paint work. Nice, shadowing and shading throughout. More of those textures right there. And as I said, look at the line work and the paint quality on this. It's absolutely great. Just continue to show you just how well this is done. Outstretched hands, some of the texturing underneath, right? Now he's got a clean costume. Really, he's not been in battle. He's getting ready to leave. And so it's got a pretty clean outfit throughout. And this is the standard portrait, or the regular portrait, with him screaming. I love the portrait. It's got great teeth. Tongue is nice and wet and glistening. Eyes are whited out. That blue skin tone. Very nicely done. right, let's get to his wings. Like a shimmering silver, right? So you can see the light reflecting off of it. Great separation. All the different compartments that make up this metallic wing. And then his poisonous fangs at the end of the wings. They look great. Same thing with the inside, right? Great separation. I love the way that they're shaped. That curvature looks great. And they're pretty big, but they don't take up a ton of space. They're about 20 inches wide. So you have 2 layers for the wings. You have the bigger ones. And then on the back, you have a set of smaller wings. Again, great paintwork and great separation. There you go. Look at his back. Like I said, I like the paint choices. Nice shimmering silver. It's not overpowering. It looks good. And it allows for Archangel himself, the paintwork, to really shine. It's a beautifully painted statue. And beautifully sculpted. So I really don't have any complaints about the sculpt at all. The only choices that I would question is I think the base is a little bit boring, but that's kind of typical XM. And it's a little hard to display this piece because of where the portrait is facing up. And it's a pretty tall piece, but overall, paint and sculpt are done very, very well. The paint, for my taste, may be a little bit on the dark side, but it looks good. Now I'll show you the switch out portraits. This is the death portrait. For me, this is my favorite one. At least is the one that's done the best anyways. So you have the skull, looks like real bone, and you see some nice wear and tear. And shades of brown in there for differentiating. It looks real, looks great. The teeth look awesome. The concave nose looks good. The whited out eyes with the black around them looks really good. And the top of the head looks awesome too. The blue and red look great. So for me, this looks best on them because I think it differentiates or breaks up the blue a little bit. So let me just switch that out and show you what that looks like. Yeah, so I do like it quite a bit. So if I change it up, it will be to this one from the traditional. Now, the one with unmasked portrait with the hair is pretty bad. You know, the skin tone's fine, but the hair's done really poorly in the front. You can see that big seam. It just doesn't look good. The back looks fine. You know, you can see the gold hair looks great. It's flowing very nicely, right? It just doesn't look great. And then the portrait itself is very bland. It's doing nothing, right? Considering he's in flight, it just doesn't look good. But it's done well. I mean, the eyes are painted very well. You know, the sculpt is good. It's just the hair is really bad in the front. It's a toupee. And I won't be using this at all. I don't particularly care for it. That would be the, you know, one of the negatives for me. But overall, you know, paint and sculpt are very, very nice. As usual with XM, everything is top notch. Not much to complain about there. Now I'm going to get into my final thoughts in closing. Okay, so for my final thoughts, this came in one very big box. Thankfully, it wasn't overly heavy. There were 2 layers, right? I don't remember what was holding what, but I know the wings were in a separate layer. And everything was intact. No issues, no breakages, nothing. Assembly was pretty straightforward. It was very easy. You got to put these tentacles in, and then you key him in through the back. He's got one long key, no problem. Very stable. You're gonna put the hands in. They got very strong magnets. They key in perfectly. The portrait keys in very well, and the wings are made of plastic, a very sturdy plastic, but they're very lightweight. They don't have magnets. They simply key in, and they let gravity do the work. But they're very stable. Like, this statue is very light considering it's an XM piece, and I move them around all the time without any fear of dropping this at all. The engineering on this was great because you have a character with very large wings, and they made him displayable. He's not overly big. He fits pretty comfortably. He's not too deep. The only issue for me is his portrait is looking up. And even if you have them at waist level or even above that, it's a little difficult to be able to get a good look at the portraits. That's really about the only downside. And for me, the money shot would be like that, you know, because you get a glimpse of the wings in the front, the wings in the back, the portrait, and it just looks really good. Now, Sideshow does have their own version of Archangel coming out, sculpted by the super talented Daniel Bell, and I already pre-ordered that because I just think that's going to look amazing. The portraits on the Sideshow one are far superior. Granted, it's years later, but for me, it's the paint job on the Sideshow version. The way they went with a metallic red that really, really pops, and the way he's standing, like he's about to jump, right? He's gonna fall down into flight rather than taking off like this one. So they look different. So we'll see when that comes in, whether I end up keeping this or selling it. I'm not gonna make a decision now because, after all we saw with the Sideshow on was just the prototype, which lately they have been delivering on. But you might feel one way now, and then when that comes out and you get it in hand, you may feel another way. For now, I'm very happy to own this. I did order it before that one even came out. I'm not sure that it would have changed my mind. I might have ordered it anyways. I got it for a good deal. I got this through specfictionshop.com. They do a great job of providing great statues that you normally couldn't get in the States at decent rates, and Todd's a good guy. So that's my thoughts on this. Let me know if you're getting it, what you think of it. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Till next time.